Hello there. Good evening. I've been wanting to make this YouTube video for a while now, because there's some notable examples of where I believe that the stories that are told about them, they were in the upper echelon of society, are not factually accurate at all. Um, okay, well, we'll start off with Bruce Willis. Um, It was said that he had frontal temporal dementia and he's lost the ability to speak properly. And therefore, he cannot act and he's stepped out of the acting world because of this. Um, you can't really say this, or for any of the examples I'm going to mention, on an online discussion. You'll wind up in an echo chamber, and it may not even be real people that you're talking to. It's just blah, 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 blah. I remember commenting on one particular, I don't know, social group gathering that I believe Lady Gaga didn't have fibromyalgia. That was the condition she was told that was told about her that she had. Um, the thing is, all the partying, all the running around and flights here and there, they need an escape from all that. And Bruce Willis, I don't think would be very popular in today's media. And, it's not because Bruce Willis was a bad actor. He was quite a talented one, actually. Although most of his roles were more or less the same, he was still, for his time, he was an excellent actor. But you never know whose toes he stepped on. Everybody steps on toes when they get into, especially Hollywood, but in the music industry as well, and all that sort of stuff. To be successful, other people have to fail. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's always going to be. And there are examples where stories are told that are true, of course. Some of them are bound to be true, but other ones are not. You take oh, what is that little punk's name? I forgot his name. I was gonna mention it. Um, just give me 1 minute here. Well, I'll swing around. I'll get back to that. Um, so anyway, he just wanted to step away from the camera and enter, a more quiet life. He has the money. Probably picked out a nice place to go. He doesn't have to worry about obsessive fans because if you ever watch, I don't know, stuff like Big Brother Canada, you'll know how psychotic they are, and they're actually on TV. Like you get Corey Monteith, for example. I only know that because occasionally I watch the news, and he died of a heroin overdose. And he was in I don't know what TV show he was in, but it was meant to be singing to teenagers, and yeah, that's kind of not the right person you would pick for that kind of job, I would think. But so that's just the craziness of the real world. And then you get Kobe Bryant, for example. Um, he, you know, he died supposedly when he was 42. At 42, trust me, he could kick most people's asses in basketball, even at that age. He was a phenomenal athlete, and he, couldn't, you know, uh, you know, go and have just some, well, maybe family time, maybe just want to hang out with some friends. Because as soon as you hang out with some friends, there's 100 of them there, and then it's not really that. It's a big giant party, and sure, it's fun for maybe a couple of years, but then afterwards, it gets kind of nauseating. Like it can do for some people, and most people probably. So I believe he faked his death, and he's living somewhere else. Um, it's interesting to note that only I don't know which of his children survived or were not on that helicopter that crashed. Maybe they chose a different life. Maybe they chose to remain in the spotlight, and he still visits them from time to time. And the other child just decided that they didn't want anything to do with it, and that's a decision they can't go back on. Obviously, not in today's society. Moving on, you get Anton Yelchin. Now, most people don't really know who that guy is. He was in a few movies, but he was most notable for playing in the relatively new Star Trek series as Chekhov, the movie series. But he was born in the Soviet Union, and because the Soviet Union collapsed, it didn't mean there wasn't still bitterness between them, and in particular the United States, but other countries as well. And the money to prop him up to be the celebrity that he was, things might have got dicey because the story of him is suspect to say the least. A car rolled down his driveway and pinned him, and that's what killed him. Yeah, right, man. The guy was worth millions of dollars. I doubt that's what got him. I don't think anything did. I think he just realized he had to lay low because of, what was going on in the world and all that kind of stuff. And, when it gets to stuff that important, people will lie. Oh, and the name, I remember it now, Justin Bieber. Yeah, trust me, I don't try to remember that name very much. I was never a fan of his music. I mean, somebody had to do the job, but doesn't mean I was a fan. Anyway, Lyme disease. Same with Avril Lavigne. How in the hell did they get Lyme disease? Like, really? That's like you get it from a bug biting you. Um, where did they have the time, or were they poisoned? Are all these things possible? Yes, absolutely. Could they be wrong? Potentially. Maybe he really did get Lyme disease. I don't know. Maybe Avril Lavigne really did get Lyme disease. Or maybe they just had obsessed fans who came up with stories about him and were close enough to their inner circle that it scared the bejesus out of them, so they had to make up an excuse for disappearing for a while. Which would be the case with Avril Lavigne. She sort of made a little bit of a comeback, so she's not completely out of the picture, but, her career is definitely, it's reached its pinnacle long ago. You get Chadwick Boseman, notably for playing Black Panther, died of colon cancer. Relatively young guy, just in his early 40s. And I don't buy that. It's not impossible for that to happen, but it's very, 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 very rare. Now, it could be also possible that that was why he was able to rise to celebrityhood because of his personal tragedy that was to befall upon him. Not to sound uncaring, but I didn't know the guy. Okay, so that's the way it is. That is also a possibility because there's always a story of a lot of celebrities and a lot of musicians that they had to go through personal trauma and this and that, and they really climbed the ladder and they were proved that they deserved to be where they were. Whether those stories are true or not, who knows? But I doubt Chadwick Boseman has passed on. You know why I doubt it? Because he's in this time period. It is notable that a lot of Black Lives Matter, influential people have really, controversial opinions. And it's very possible that he had one and he had to boogie in a real big hurry. Because supposedly the director had a script and he was in it for the sequel that they made. And they I don't know what they did. I didn't watch the movie. Either of them. It's not my, superhero movies in general really aren't my cup of tea. But especially Black Panther. No offense. I just didn't care for it. Okay, well, I've mentioned musicians. So I'll bring up one. Oh, her name is going to be so hard to pronounce. From Ireland, of course. I should be able to pronounce it, but I can't. I actually had to look up on a on a how to pronounce to figure it out. Dolores O'Riordan. Now who is she? That's not also a household name. She was the singer from Cranberries. Funny enough, I wanted to know how tall she was because supposedly she drowned in a bathtub while she was drunk or whatever. And two sites that are right next to each other, celebheights.com and bodysize.org, give two different height. You know, they say two different heights. One says that she's 5'3", and the other one says that she's 5'1.5". Which was it? Not that it matters, but she may have had a little help with her accidental drowning. You never know in the music world and who propped up the money and what they expected from people and if they wanted to become activists or whatever. You don't know. Then you get guys like Heath Ledger, for example. I made a video about that before, and I said that I believed that he was stuck in a mental asylum. Or, small town that feels like a mental asylum anyway. Because what he did in The Dark Knight, well, the Joker, he totally changed the Joker and made him a very iconic figure. Coincidentally, the movie was released July 18th, 2008. Now, do you want to know when Obama was inaugurated? January 20th, 2009. So, Obama was already in the works to become president. They probably already, the very, very, very upper echelons probably already decided he was going to be the president at that particular time. I don't really particularly believe in democracy. I don't think it exists. It's well known in the Batman movie that Heath Ledger's Joker killed a few black mobsters. Now you go, well, that's just a movie. Yeah, but maybe some of the people who put up the money for the rise of Heath Ledger did some things like, I don't know, something like that maybe. It's possible. And again, what was his best strategy given this wave of, what the world's like now and how people see it and what they're, in support and have rallies over now and the attempt at changing power. Now, I believe that's a total facade. It's a feel-good moment, but in the end, it's the same people. They just shuffle the deck, that's all. Anyway, yeah, so Heath Ledger, I believe he's alive. And Saddam Hussein, take him for example. I think he's alive. And I made a video about that too. To sum it up, I said that basically he knew he was being outcompeted by the Iranian army, the Iraqi army, and he needed to get out. And Iraq had a lot of oil, and the Americans wanted all of their irreplaceable museum pieces and all that, and just 10,000-year-old like architecture that can't be replaced. And then they made a video where you see supposedly ISIS smashing these things. This is long after the invasion and long after the Americans took everything of value and replaced it with junk. And those stupid ISIS guys believed that that was the real deal. No, a lot of planning went into that war, and it was to make money, a lot of it, and that's what they did. One could argue that's what makes a president great, is does he make money for the country? And, that's a horrible thing to say, but it might be kind of the truth. We don't know. So, all kinds of stories get made up by people, and sometimes these particular people don't even get to choose what the stories are that are made up about them. Every aspect of their lives, they have to negotiate. how they, what kind of food they want to eat. Do they want to be, super fit Ryan Reynolds, or who was the guy who played Thor? That loser, Hemsworth. I think it was Liam Hemsworth who played him. I didn't watch that movie either. All super fit, and their diet, their exercise, they got somebody lurking over their shoulder all the time, and especially for athletes. So, um, you know, that's the price you pay. That's why I felt bad for Daniel Craig when he played that Bond. Oh, that was a horrible movie I heard, the last Bond. And I don't blame him for not wanting to play it. He didn't need the money. And they probably made him do things he didn't want to do to play that part that they made him play. Because he was stubbornly against it for the longest time. And by the way, I really hope that the next Bond series is set in the 60s and they pick the right person to play Bond. That would be slick. But I don't know. We'll see about that. Because I bet that would be a real interesting story to tell. And I hope they don't destroy it by woke. What is even woke to begin with? In my opinion, it's one's own interpretation of the world, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're associated with everything that they throw out there in the media as the thing they're doing right now. Like, if you're aware of your surroundings, all of a sudden that means you support this, you support that, and you may not. You may be aware that it exists. That was what I would think is what woke is. Anyway, I digress. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and have a good day.